One of these chess players is rated over 2200 elo, and your goal is to figure out who that is. Welcome into the first episode of my brand new series called Guess the Master, where I ask contestants from my Discord server to play a move in a variety of positions, and your goal as the audience is to try and figure out who the player is that is rated over 2200. If you want to be featured in one of these videos, make sure you join my Discord server. It's entirely free, and I will attach a link in the description and the comments as well so you don't miss the next one. We will go and get started, and how this is going to go is I'm going to show you guys all of the moves from a variety of positions, from 5 positions total, and then after that I will reveal the best moves and then the identity and the elo of each player, and ultimately who the player is that's rated over 2200. We'll go ahead and get started. This is the first position I have on the board here. Now, I'm also going to try and color coordinate this for you guys to make it simple, make it easy. We'll call every player A, B, C, and D. Player A in this position says that rook e1 is the best move. And his reasoning behind this is because the center is ultimately going to break open. He wants his rook there, and we're still in the development phase. Now, player B says we should move this pawn all the way to d5 and attack the knight. Player C says we should play a4, followed by playing the bishop a3, moving the bishop to the a3 square once a4 is played. And lastly, player D says we should just simply play bishop d2 and cover this pawn. The second one is going to be kind of telling because here we are in a critical position. We have two main moves, and you'll see it's only two lines because we're split. 2 of the 4 players think the knight should be taken, and 2 think the pawn should be taken. And again, I will reveal what the best move is after I reveal all of these positions. Now, player A says that we should take the knight and try and castle. Player C also thinks we should take the knight and castle. But player B and player D think that it is best to capture this pawn here. So now we're at a split, and you have to decide who the master is. Now I know we're split all the way, and some of you might think, oh, this is obvious to me who the master is by this position, but don't be so sure. Now, on the third one, you will see there's only 3 arrows, because now 2 of them also agree, but there's 3 different moves that are all being played of 4. So we'll start with the simple one. Player A says that the bishop should drop back to c2, because they're threatening a fork here by moving this pawn forward. So player A says just drop the bishop back to c2, and then maybe after this move, maybe just bringing the knight to d2. That is their thinking in this plan. Player B says that instead in this position, queen c2 makes the most sense. They think just play queen c2 and keep the bishops together. And player C agrees. Player C also says that we should play queen c2. Player D is the one who says that we should play this move pawn h3. And they said the reason behind pawn h3 is to stop this knight from coming in, or maybe the bishop from coming in. We'll move on to the next example. This one is very, very challenging. And this is a great one. So try and pay attention because this one might give you a little bit of a hint as to who the master is, because this one is a deep puzzle that requires a lot of precision. Player A says that we should move the queen over here to b3. And they say that because after queen b3, we're attacking the a4 pawn or the b4 pawn, and they can never push the d3 pawn because both of our pieces are looking at it. Player B, though, they say, well, our queen is in a great spot here, right? Player B, by the way, is green. They say our queen is in a great spot, so they say maybe we should just play rook b1 and attack this pawn. Player C says, well, maybe we can play c5, because after c5, maybe we can move the queen to the c4 square, attacking both the pawns and preventing their movement. And player D says we should just play f3 here. Sorry, I may change the color, that we should play f3 so that the king gets out and there's not much to do. Now here's the last position. Again, there's only 2 arrows here because 2 of the 4 agree on each move. Player A and player B both say that we should move the knight to e2 to just move pieces towards their king. But player C and player D both agree that maybe we should take this pawn and sacrificing the knight here on c3. All right. Now that I've shown you guys what everyone thinks, we're going to go through each position and assign some points to who got points correct, and also feel free to try and calculate points yourself. How many of these 5 did you get correct? We'll go through them. Let's turn on the analysis and let me explain why these moves are correct. The first one, only one player got it right. And if you guessed that player to be Rookie 1, you would be correct. Rookie 1 is the obvious move here because we just simply develop a piece and we plan to break the center this way. It is the obvious move and it is the only correct move in this position. Now, there are some other ones that you could debate being good as well, such as this move Bishop B5, which was not played as either, but Rookie 1 is the best move in this position. The second one, I'm glad we finally got to this because now I can teach you guys that this is a common opening mistake. This is a trap. And if you take this pawn, they can play Queen G5. And now you see the pressure. You see the issue. They're attacking the G2 pawn and they're attacking the knight. So if you move the knight away, they just take here with this fork. And if instead you decide, okay, I'll castle and get safe, well, now they take the knight and they are winning. So the best move was to take here. Because now after castles, it was also to castle, or sorry, after pawn takes, it is to castle. So 2 of the players were correct in this one. This one here, there was only one move that I was looking for. Actually, only really one move that maintains any sort of advantage. Now, again, this position is fairly equal, which is why it shows the difference in these thought processes. Because the best move is simply Queen C2. Queen C2 is the best because even though they're wanting to do this fork, well, now they can't because they would simply lose a pawn. And also Queen C2 is the best because it creates such a strong battery against this H7 square. It develops a queen and improves the position. 2 of the players got this one right. This one is super complicated, and technically, believe it or not, no one got this right. Now, I'm going to award a half point for one person because the difference in the eval for one of these 2 moves versus the other is like 0.05. So I'm going to give a half point. It's not F3. It's not Queen B1 or Rook B1. It's not Queen B3, but it's C5. Did you guess this one? C5 is one of the best because it's correct also. We're trying to bring the queen to C4. Now, all the other moves are simply too slow. If you instead play a move like Queen B3, the problem is after something like A5 and then getting the queen here and here, all of a sudden black is just constricting our position. Now, this one's very, very difficult, so I wanted to give you guys a brief summary of it. I think actually before A5, Queen D6 is the best. Now, this last one came from one of my recent games. And you guys, if you guessed pawn takes, you would be correct. There's nothing wrong with knight e2. It's an okay move. But the best move is this brilliant move. Hold on. I guess it's not showing the move classifications. This is a brilliant move. Because if they take the rook, you take. And after rook takes, you play queen h7. And all of a sudden, this rook is hanging and your attack is very great. So players C and D got this one correct. So now, as a quick summary, player A was 2 out of 5. Player B was 1 out of 5. Player C was 3.5 out of 5. And player 4 was 1 out of 5, also known as player D. This is your final chance to change your guess. But the master was player C at 2243 elo. Let me know if you got that. Now let me reveal everyone. Player A is 1130 elo. His name is Royal Cinema. He's in my Discord server, and he's 1130 elo. Player B is the unidentified person at 1400 elo, also in the Discord, of course. Player C, the 2243, his name is Decliff. And player D is 382 elo. Again, and his name is Shocked Bunny. All these people are in my Discord server. If you guys want to be featured in the next one of these videos, make sure you join the Discord. It's entirely free. It's just a way for me to connect with you guys outside of stream. Let me know what you think of this video. Do you want to see more Guess the Master? Is this something that you enjoy? And also let me know in the comments how many of these 5 positions did you get correct? What was your score? Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.